Hi lovelies! Today's video is gonna be a good one because we are doing a dupe video and a comparison of affordable makeup and high-end makeup. And I want you to try to guess right now don't skip through the video, leave a comment down below and tell me your right or left, which side of my face you think is high-end and which one you think is drugstore. Because I'm curious. Because I found a lot of really good dupes. I'm so excited. I'm going to come back in at the end of the day and do a check-in and just show you how everything holds up and give you my final thoughts on everything. But if you want to see me go through step by step each product and compare them and see, how they hold up next to each other, then just keep watching the video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this in the future. If you don't, then you don't have to subscribe. That's fine. My feelings won't be hurt. Also, my Instagram is the same name as my YouTube, Calabella Beauty. If you want to go follow me on the IG, where I post more makeup pictures and products and hair stuff and skincare stuff and everything beauty, hence Calabella Beauty, because my name is Kelly. See how that works. Anyway, I'm done talking. Here's the video. Enjoy. All right, wonderful people. We are just going to get right into the video. So I'm going to divide my face in half. Let's call this side the affordable side and this side the high-end side. Especially because I have this nice, beautiful pimple that I need to cover up very well. So first product is primer. So I'm going to use the Revlon Roseglow Hydrating and Illuminating Primer. Comes obviously in this little dropper. So I'm just going to prime one half of my face. On the other side, I'm going to use the Flesh Beauty Illuminating Primer. You have to pump it out. And then I will prime this half of my face. In terms of like initial illumination, I don't think one side is necessarily better than the other. While the face primer sets on my face, I always go ahead and do my eyes first. So, and next up is eyelid primer. So on the affordable side, I am using the e.l.f. eyelid primer, which I already know from experience that I love. And this will be a good test to see if one actually keeps the makeup on longer than the other. On the high-end side, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Original Primer Potion. So as you can see, the e.l.f. eyelid primer gives you more of a camouflage effect in like covering your veins. It has a little pigment to it as opposed to this one, which doesn't have any. For eyeshadow, on the affordable side, I'm going to use the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette. And on the, not the affordable side, on the high-end side, I'm going to use the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. The first color I'm going to take is this one right here, which is like this peachy, orangey-ish color. I'm just going to apply that in my crease. And as you can see, one pass of it is like not amazing. You kind of have to build it up a little bit. It's definitely more on the sheer side. And the dupe of that in this palette is this color right here called Burnt Orange. Same brush, and I'm going to also put that in the crease. So as you can see, the Anastasia one is a lot more pigmented. But if you are somebody who likes more of a subtle look, then maybe you'll like the Carli Bybel palette. Now I'm going to go into this brown shade right here and also build that in the crease. And now the equivalent of that is this color called Raw Sienna. And the last matte shade we are going to take is this dark brown right here. And I'm going to apply that in the outer corner. And the equivalent is Cypress Umber. And oh, there's a lot of fallout with this palette because they're so pigmented. So you really only need like the smallest amount of eyeshadow on your brush. Overall, I don't think that they are like horrendously different. It was really just that first shade, but everything else, it seems to have really kind of evened out. Obviously, the Anastasia, there's like just a slight bit more pigmentation, but so far, I think they're pretty good dupes for each other. Now for the lid color, I'm going to take this shimmery gold from the Carli Bybel palette. And I always spray my shimmer pigments with water. And then I'm going to apply that on the rest of the lid. Now in the Anastasia palette, I'm going to take this gold shimmer color, which is called Primavera. So I think that there is a huge difference when it comes to the shimmer shades in a drugstore makeup palette versus a high-end makeup palette. In these situations, I think you really are getting what you're paying for. But again, if you are somebody who's like, I can't afford to buy a $45 palette, then, you know, I think the less expensive version still does like a really, really good job at mirroring the high-end side. Moving on, we are going to go to foundation. So on the drugstore slash affordable side, I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion. It's a luminous foundation because I'm going to be duping it with the Too Faced Born This Way, which is also supposed to be like a dewy kind of foundation. So I thought these would be good to compare. So on a Real Techniques sponge, I'm just going to dip right into the spongy part, and then I'm just going to start pouncing that on my face. So hopefully you can see this definitely gives me some color to my face, but it also is very dewy looking and kind of like that wet skin look. And I think the coverage is really nice and even too. So this is my second or third time using this foundation and I really, really like it. So we'll see how it compares to the Too Faced Born This Way, especially at the end of the day. We'll see how they compare to each other. So obviously the convenient thing about the cushion foundation is that it's a lot easier to apply. You're just dipping your sponge right into the compact and then applying it on your face versus having to pump out a foundation. Your hand gets messy. You have to dot it all over and then you have to blend it out. So convenience-wise, the cushion foundation is nice in that sense. I will say though, the difference is that this one only comes with half an ounce and this one is a full ounce. So there's half the amount of product in this. So if you were to double the price of this, you know, it's still a lot cheaper than the Too Faced brand, but you know, take that into consideration as well. You're going to go through the product a lot faster depending on how much you apply. So once it's blended out, it's not as horribly noticeable that they're different shades, but you know, still not, I wouldn't wear the two of these together. This one's a little darker. I don't think I got the right shade, but oh well. Next up is under eye concealer. So on the drugstore side, we are using the LA Girl Pro Concealer, which is my favorite. And on the high-end side, we're using the Tarte Shape Tape, which is every beauty guru's favorite apparently on YouTube. This is in the color Porcelain, and the applicator is one of those where you have to squeeze the product up and then you just apply it underneath, and then I'm going to blend it out with the sponge. So this is in the color Fair Neutral. I'm honestly almost out of this, but I don't use it under my eyes usually. I usually use it if I'm like cutting my crease, to be honest, because I'm not a huge fan of this concealer. So that is both of them on. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised because I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape brightens up my eye a little bit more, and I feel like the coverage is better. I'm just shocked because I used to hate this concealer, and I am like so pro the LA Girl Pro Concealer. But now looking at the two side by side,
I'm shooketh.
oh my gosh, have I changed my mind? This could be life-changing. Stay tuned, people. I don't know what's happening. I'm questioning my whole life right now. Now for setting powder, I am going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Fair. This one is pigmented, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I thought I heard good things about this powder, so I bought it, but I've used it a few times, and spoiler alert, I hate it. It makes my under eyes so creasy by the end of the day, and even if I'm using a concealer that I love, it still makes it look that way. So just a forewarning, you have to take that into consideration when I'm reviewing these at the end of the day, but it's the only drugstore powder that I have, so it'll have to do today. And on the high-end side, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So as I just said, this is translucent, and I love this powder. I just wish that I could find one that wasn't as expensive that I also loved. So if you have any recommendations for me, please let a girl know. I would highly appreciate that. I'm actually going to set some areas of my face as well. Now for bronzer, I have a bit of a predicament because the drugstore bronzer I have is matte and the high-end bronzer I have is like shimmery. So they're different formulas, but hopefully that's not like a huge issue for you. Okay. So I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Bronzer in Nude, which is the lightest shade that they have. And I'm just going to apply this along my cheekbone and my forehead and my temples a little bit, my jawline. I guess I'm going to attempt to contour half of my nose. With this product, and then the other half with the other product. So on this side, I'm going to use the bareMinerals Invisible Bronzer in Fair to Light. Going to use the same brush. As you can see, I'm almost out of it because I use this like every single day. But that was before I tried the Rimmel one, which I really like. This one is a lot more subtle, like there's more pigmentation with the Rimmel Stay Matte, and I think that's because it's matte, whereas when you get like shimmery bronzers, they're supposed to be more of just like a subtle, like barely there, but just enough to like make your skin look healthy, if you know what I'm saying. That looks a little better. So on this side, I'm going to use the MakeupGeek blush pan in Spellbound. And on the other side, I'm going to use this Tarte Amazonian clay blush in Party. And it's probably going to remove all the foundation that was covering up my pimple, but that's okay. I think they're both very pigmented and pretty pinks. I think the Tarte one has a bit more shimmer to it, but other than that, I think they're like really good dupes for each other. Now for highlighter, I'm going to use the Colourpop Flexitarian highlighter on this side and the Urban Decay highlighter on this side. I honestly don't know what color this is or what it's even really called. I'll try to find out, but I got this in an Ipsy bag, but these looked like really good dupes for each other. So I figured I'd use those. So the thing about this one is I think it applies best when you pick it up with your finger. So I just take my finger and then kind of rub it starting on like the apple of my cheek, and then I like bring upwards. I'll put a little on my nose. It's super pretty. Oh, look at that. I'll try picking up the Urban Decay one with my finger as well and applying it. Shoot, I should have used a different finger. I just used the same finger, which I think had leftover product on it. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, that was dumb. That was really dumb. Anyway. I mean, it's still very pigmented, as you can see on my nose. We'll see how they hold up by the end of the day. Okay, next I'm going to do brows. So on the drugstore side, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape and Fill pencil, which is like so easy because all I do is apply a line, do a couple vertical lines, just filling in like sparse areas. And then there's a spoolie end, and then I just brush that upwards. It's very pigmented, it's very easy to apply, and it is like not time consuming whatsoever because I'm already done. So on the high end side, I'm going to use the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in dark brown. Similar brush with the spoolie on the end. This is the Anastasia brush that you buy with it. So what I do is I dip into the pot a little bit and then I brush the excess off on the cap. And then same technique, I'm going to draw a horizontal line and then a couple vertical lines. And then use the spoolie and just blend that upwards. So I do think this brow looks a lot more precise. This one kind of looks a little muddier. I think it looks bigger too because it's kind of muddy. This just gives me like more of a clean brow. So I honestly think I'd have to go with the Anastasia on this one, but we'll see. The day is young. Now I'm going to curl my lashes. And for eyeliner in my waterline, I'm going to use the Rimmel Waterproof Kohl Kajal eyeliner pencil in black and line my upper waterline and my lower waterline, because I hate when the eyeliner drips down into the corner here. So this will be a really good test to see which eyeliner holds up, if one holds up, and which one doesn't. On the high-end side, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Glide On Eyeliner Pencil in Perversion. I believe this is also supposed to be waterproof. Now I think we just have mascara and lipstick and then we're done. So I'm going to use the Essence False Lashes mascara on this side. It is my all-time favorite mascara. So we'll see how it compares to a high-end brand. Now on the other side, I'm going to use the Clinique High Impact Mascara. Oops. So as you can see, we get very similar looks on both sides. I think the Clinique mascara honestly is like a little less spidery and potentially clumpy. I actually really do like this Clinique mascara. It's really interesting to see them side by side because when I use them each on their own, I think I like one better than the other, but now like seeing them compared, I'm like, I don't know. I still think I get more length and volume on this side, but they are very close. So I have the Colourpop liquid lipstick in Times Square on this side and the Stila liquid lipstick in Fresco on this side. So we'll see. I don't have a high-end lip liner, so I'm just going to forego the lip liner today. But anyway, here we go. Feels so weird to only apply it to one half of my mouth, but I thought liquid lipstick would be a really good thing to test because they can be tricky with if they make your lips look super dry or, you know, does it really last all day and, you know, yada yada. So I thought this would be good to test. So obviously they're not the same exact color, but I think they're like super, super close. I think the Colourpop one looks slightly more drying than the Stila, but I think throughout the day will be the real test. So that being said, I will come back later, maybe midday or maybe just at the end of the day, and I will show you guys how everything held up and give you my final thoughts on the products. But overall, just right now, looking at the finished product, I'm like, I can't really tell like a huge difference between the drugstore affordable side and the high-end side. I'll try to get closer so you can see. I just picked up the tripod because I figure you can see better this way. Actually being close up. Now that's too bright. High-end side versus drugstore side. I will check back in later and let you know the tea, sis. Bye for now. All right, lovelies, I am back. It is the end of the day. I don't even know what time it is. I should have checked what time it is. But my makeup has been on for at least 8 hours. if not more. So this is me, end of the day, checking in for the last time. Honestly, I feel like everything held up the same on both sides of my face. I truly, when I look at my face in the mirror, it looks like one cohesive look. Like I can't tell that I'm wearing two completely different sets of products on my face, which says a lot about the affordable side of my face. So I hope that this was helpful in the sense that it gave you some ideas of, hey, instead of maybe splurging here and buying this product, I can get this product which works just as well. So I'll talk about the products that I think are worth the money and which ones I think are worth being savvy about. So I feel terrible because I had no idea until I was looking up prices that the True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation is apparently discontinued, as well as the Carli Bybel palette. I was looking online of where you could buy it and it's not on BH Cosmetics website anymore. So I'm really frustrated because here I'm like, okay, awesome, I found these great dupes, but like you can't really get your hands on them. So that stinks, and I'm sorry, I should have done my research ahead of time. You know, I'm sure I will do this again, but just bear that in mind if you're going to look for these products. My under eyes look the same, but that being said, I used the powder that I don't like on this, on this side, and I used the concealer that I don't like on this side. So that's why they're sort of the same when you think about it. They're both just kind of, you can see like all those fine lines on both sides. I didn't do any touch-ups throughout the day, which is why it's like, okay, at this point in the day, the fact that my makeup still looks like this is pretty good. So my lipstick is like basically very worn off. They, as you can see, faded the same amount. Really, the only thing that I would say that was better on the high end side than the other side is just some of the pigmentation in the eyeshadow. Those shimmer shades, like I said, are just a little more vibrant on the high end side, but like, you know, not, that's more like a luxury. Like, you know, if you want to invest in a really good palette, then maybe do that. But otherwise, I'd say, I don't know. This face, this is hard. I really thought there would be more obvious differences and that I could be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like this is way better than this and this is way better than this. But no, that's not what happened. So I'm kind of shocked. I'm still a little shooketh. But yeah, like I said, I hope this video was helpful and happy shopping. Let me know if you want me to do more. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye! This is me with no ring light, looking a little extra toe up. And this is me with the ring light. It just washes away all of my pores.